Hi, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Align's Daily Dose of Advice, our way of bringing you valuable insights and thought leadership from business experts from around the world on various topics that hopefully will help you and your business. My name is Eugene Turk, and I'm the Vice President of Business Development at Align. You can always learn more about Align at aligntoday.com. My guest today is Doug Walner. Doug is the CEO of Align Technologies Corp. He is an accomplished executive with over 25 years of technology business management, and his background includes time spent in various industries, including human capital management, education, consumer products, aviation, and media. Doug, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure to see you every day. I
All
love
right.
the Align studio, by the way, behind you.
Thank you very much from the backyard office of Align. Anyway, Align is headquartered in New Orleans, Louisiana, and New Orleans was one of the early hotspots in the United States for coronavirus, which meant that our team had to shift to 100% remote fairly quickly. Would you mind sharing with everyone what you did as a CEO to ensure that that happened so seamlessly?
Sure. I think, you were there and you knew what we were going through, but I think we anticipated that our governor was going to put us in sort of a lockdown mode after the weekend or sometime over the weekend. And this was on a Thursday. So what we decided to do was immediately send everybody home on Friday and start our work from home test pilot, if you will. Really what we wanted to do was make sure everybody could communicate and had the resources and were comfortable at home in order to continue working in that manner. So what I wanted to do was get everybody home and get them on the first daily huddle. We do a daily huddle every day just before noon, and everybody aggregates on Zoom. We used to do it in an office at the office, but we also had some remote employees, so they're used to this. It was kind of easy for them, but we wanted to make sure that everybody had the right resources, was comfortable, and everybody had the right internet capacity and could handle the video technology. So we did that on that Friday. Everything went smoothly, and at that point we just said, "Hey, everybody needs to stay at home. This is the new environment. This is what it's going to be like for a while. Get used to it. Get comfortable." I asked people if they needed anything, and what we would do is if they needed more capacity, we'd work with them to get more capacity. If they needed more equipment, we'd work with them to get more equipment. But we were pretty prepared when the city went into lockdown.
In addition to your responsibilities as CEO at Align, I know that you also have a side passion project in owning a local brewery here in New Orleans. Do you mind sharing sort of how, as a CEO, you monitor the work that is getting done remotely inside both of our organization as well as the brewery that you're sort of is your night job?
Sure. Well, as you know, we use a great software product called Align. You're at Align, and obviously we practice what we preach, and we've been using it to monitor all our work progress and all our strategic priorities and our planning and making sure that we're staying on track. But what I did is a long time ago I put the brewery on the same platform. I put them on Align and got them to sort of start to adapt these business habits, these good business habits, daily huddles. They do a management huddle over there every day. I am able to, and have always been able to, not being in that business on a daily operational basis, I have always been able to have access to the management huddle over there, see what's going on a daily basis. That has not skipped a beat. They continue to do it. Now, they're an essential business. Believe it or not, a brewery is considered an essential business because it services the grocery stores and the food chain. So they are providing product into that, and they are operating, which means employees are going there every day. Now, what's nice about a craft brewery is it's not a lot of employees, and it doesn't take a lot of employees to actually brew and package beer and get it out to markets. They are all standing 6 feet apart in their jobs, and we're staggering how their shifts. So the platform is really important because everybody's got their tasks and their priorities outlined of what they need to do on a regular basis, and they're not all in the brewery at the same time. So communication is key. The huddles are key. They're huddling there as well, and it's working out really, really well. And I think what Eugene, and you and I have discussed this. What we have found is that Align is sort of perfectly positioned as a great platform to operate in this environment, because it does have all the key priorities that need to get done for a business mapped out. It does have communication tools so that we can share information around the organization on a daily basis. So, we're excited that our product is really shining in this environment. We're not excited for the reasons we're here, but we're excited that the product has that usefulness in this crisis. And we've
Yeah.
also, for our clients, have made the communication piece available for free, so they can get the benefit of this too as well on our website. So I would invite people to check that out. I think it's a really important thing that everybody needs to be doing right now, is communicating, huddling, sharing information while everybody's remote.
And Doug, I certainly want to give kudos to you and the brewery, because in addition to continuing to brew beer as part of the food chain, you've also pivoted and are now making hand sanitizer as well for local hospitals and selling it to the general public. So that's
Yeah,
just an
we are.
example of one way to pivot in your business as well.
And it's
Um,
necessary. You got to think like that in this time of crisis. And
yep.
there's, a big portion of our revenue went out the door when they closed down restaurants and bars. So being able to pivot and think about what we could do was important to sort of replace revenue.
You've already mentioned a little about huddles and the executive huddle at the brewery. Can you share a little bit more about what our normal communication rhythms were and how those have adjusted as a result of this business disruption?
So yeah, obviously practicing what we preach, we're big users of the daily huddle across our organization. We have an all team, we call it Big Huddle, every day just before noon. It lasts about 13 to 15 minutes. Previous to this crisis, it lasted about 13 to 15 minutes. We'd get in a conference room. We do the Big Huddle every day. We have a weekly management huddle. You and I are in that with our team, and we do that once a week. And then all the different teams in the organization have their own daily huddle right before Big Huddle. That's sort of our normal cadences. That's what we did every day. Since this has occurred, what we decided to do was, for me, it was really important to monitor the safety and health of employees on a daily basis and regularly, and really connect with people. I think everybody being distributed, obviously connecting and communicating and seeing people is really important. So we instituted a second daily huddle. We do it late in the afternoon. It's late in the day, and there is no specific agenda for that huddle except to sort of share what's happened during the day. If anything came up customer-wise, if anything happened that somebody needs help with, we get on at the end of the day and just try to, communicate, be together, see each other as we would in normal hallway conversations at the office. So that's been really, really useful. So we're huddling, we're doing a big huddle twice a day for the whole company. And I think we've gotten a lot out of that. And we're going to continue to monitor that and see how we evolve that. And we've also turned some of those into happy hours. We've tried to be social about it and enjoy each other's companies, and we've done that. And it's worked out really, really well. Other than that, we've what's nice is we've kept all the normal communication cadences we've had in the organization, and they've been working out really, really well. We added that second big huddle, and again, the most important thing is getting the face time with employees and making sure that everybody is safe and healthy. Before in big huddle, I usually ask people for a physical thumbs up on screen to make sure that everybody's feeling good. I think right now I'm just really concerned that everybody's healthy. I want all our employees to stay healthy and their families to stay healthy. So we ask for a thumbs up, both in the daily huddle in the morning, the big huddle in the morning, and in the afternoon.
Um, So we have at Align, we use a business coach to help us facilitate sort of our quarterly planning sessions. And we did have a virtual or remote planning session. I think it was in the third week of March. And it was about a week after we'd been 100% remote. Do you mind sharing us with sort of your thoughts on how a virtual remote planning session went and how we have shifted or adjusted our priorities for Q2 that we had developed during that plan?
Sure. Well, prior to that, it was scheduled for an in-person meeting. I think it was March 23rd or something like that. And it was scheduled to be in the office. And what we normally do is bring the few remote employees that we have, we fly them in for the meeting, and it's also something that we usually try to plan a community service event around and get all our employees on the team to do. So we weren't going to be able to do that, and I think there's definitely a loss there of being together, being physically together, and sort of building the camaraderie in person. So we weren't going to be able to replicate that. So we had to figure out, what do we do? How do we pull this off? And in talking with our coach, he's a Petra coach, Eric Frank, fantastic coach. He's local here in New Orleans. And he and I talked about, how do we plan, how do we pull this off with everybody being remote, and not having all the usual tools that we might have in a conference room. Sticky notes we can put all over the wall, whiteboards, and pads that we can write on, and having everybody just sort of there sharing ideas. We were prepared for what was going to be,
Yeah.
what we thought was going to be a difficult session, one that was going to be very hard to manage. What it turned out as is that it was very efficient. Actually, we were kind of surprised ourselves.
Yep.
We got through the day very efficiently. The other thing that we sometimes do, but we don't do as religiously, as we were going through the day and picking out our priorities and planning our quarter and planning, the next 30 days, the next 60 days and 90 days, we were actually working more in the aligned product. We will typically do that in our planning sessions, but because everybody was in front of their computer, everybody was working in it, whereas normally we'd have one or two people tracking the meeting and putting that information in, and then there would be follow-up after the meeting of getting your priorities loaded into the system. What was different about this one was everybody was in front of their computer. Everybody was working on their priorities and how they mapped up to the company priorities. And so by the time we got done with the meeting, it was a pretty efficient meeting.
Yep.
And everybody, pretty much the whole system was loaded with all the priorities. The other thing we did, though, is we took a sort of an adaptive view on this quarter. We definitely looked at what do we need to achieve, but we filtered that with some reality, knowing that the world is different this quarter than it was last quarter. What's it going to mean to our sales pipeline? What's it going to mean to our our marketing statistics that we track? How many people are we going to pull into our top of funnel? These are the things that we're concerned with. Obviously, we like to sell our product out in the world and help other companies. That's our mission, is to help other companies on their journey to success. So we obviously want to be successful in doing that. And so we track all our sales metrics, but we had to pull back and we had to have a realistic view on what's achievable in this new world. And quite frankly, we don't know yet. I think we have to be able to, on the fly, change the goals. And that was a frank conversation that we had in our planning session, is that we have to be ready to be adaptive throughout this quarter, to change, to look and evaluate after 30 days and say, hey, we're doing better than we thought. Let's adjust the goal up. Or we're not doing quite as well as we thought, so let's adjust the goal down. So we're going to take a look at it. We've agreed to check in 30 days and sort of reevaluate all the goals we set. I think you do need to be adaptive right now. It is an interesting time. Fortunately for us, our product, as I mentioned, does shine, and we do think that this is helpful to the product is helpful to a lot of companies out there that are looking to put some structure and framework behind this new work environment that they're in, and also getting that communication rhythms going.
Doug, sort of a very broad, open-ended question, but what is the number one piece of advice that you would give to a fellow CEO right now?
Right now it's about people, and it's about keeping people comfortable. I think, making sure that you're dialoguing with your team, that you're doing the visual check-ins on video, and you're making everybody use their video so you can see how they're doing. I think that's really the most important thing. And look, it's people. I mean, you could work, you can ask your team to work all day long. If they're not healthy, nothing else matters. If their family's not healthy, nothing else matters. And that's all I really care about, is that all my employees are safe, all my employees are healthy. We will figure out the work thing. And I think you have to have that attitude right now. This is a people situation, a people crisis. I am very focused on making sure that our team is safe and healthy. Nothing else matters. You can get worked up and stressed out over all the things that are going on in the business. You can get stressed out about revenue streams. You can get stressed out about all kinds of customer issues. But most importantly, it's your employees. More than ever, this is the time to take care of your employees.
Sound advice. Doug, pleasure seeing you. Thank you for joining us and sharing some of your thoughts and advice. Again, if you would like to learn more about Align, please check out aligntoday.com. And we hope that you will join us next time. Till then, thank you so much, and I hope you make it a great day.
Thank you. I'll see you 54 minutes in Big Huddle.
That's right.